Welcome to Chaplain's Moment, Doctor's Call. We all need a doctor from time to time, don't we? Yeah, we sure do. And Jesus says he's the great physician. What no better place to taking our hearts, our sin, our discouragement to him, our fears. That's what we're going to talk about today is our fears. We're going to be looking at Matthew 14, 26, and 27. And let me give you a little background on that before I read them. Jesus sent the disciples ahead in a boat to go to the next destination. And we're coming into a classic biblical reference where Jesus is walking on the water to the boat. This is also, next week, we're going to look at Peter walking on the water to him. And so here they are. They're out on the boat. It's nighttime, and here comes Jesus walking on the water. So let's take a look at the word and see what it has to say here in Matthew 14, 26 and 27. But when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were terrified and said, "It is a ghost!" And they cried out in fear. But immediately Jesus spoke to them, saying, "Take heart, it is I. Do not be afraid." You know, in that day, it was a very mystical world, a lot more mystical than today's world. And it didn't make any sense for them for Jesus to be walking on the water when he could have been in the boat with them. So they thought they were seeing a ghost. And in those days, as in if a ghost walked in this room right now, it would be terrifying. And they're scared. There's a lot of fear. And they're crying out. And it says Jesus immediately, I love that word, he immediately speaks to them. Take heart. It's I. Do not be afraid. You know, I find people fear a lot of things. Fear is a huge motivator in life. Causes us to do things we never thought we'd do. We fear people. We fear spiders, snakes. I don't like spiders and snakes at all. We fear words. We fear some issues from our past that they might come back up. We fear things done to us in the past. We fear a lot of things. And so fear happens often. What are we supposed to do in that fear? I don't think we do what the disciples did, crying out. Well, I think we can cry out in fear. I think we give our fear to the Lord. Absolutely. Because back in Matthew 11, it says he wants our burdens. He wants our fears. So he gives fears. And then sit and listen for Jesus, for he says, do not be afraid. It is I. You know, I've talked to you this week about how I was been sick the last 2 weeks. And I had a lot of anxiety with my illness. I don't know why. I didn't have any problem breathing. There's a huge sinus issue. I had a huge sinus headache behind my left eye and the back of my left neck area. Really hurt. It caused me to have a lot of anxiety. And I was laying in bed and going, Lord, recently I've surrendered my life to you. Why this? Why now? And this hurts. Can't you take this away? And this is what I heard. Rest in me, John. And it made me think. You know, we can surrender to the Lord, but that doesn't mean we're resting in him. Because surrendering, you're often fighting against the one who you surrendered to. I don't want to fight against the Lord. I want to rest in him. So our fears, as we give them to the Lord, it's not, here, Lord, here's my fears. Take it away. It's resting in him that he's going to take care of it. That what is there to fear when we have the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, who is our God, who is walking with us, who loves us, who won't leave us, who won't abandon us, who won't leave us alone, who knows what we have to face. It says in Scripture, he doesn't give us anything we can't stand up under, not sit down, not crawl on our bellies, that we can't stand up under. Take heart. It's Jesus. Do not be afraid. So somebody said something to you. It make you fear that, oh, here comes the past rising up. Give it to the Lord. Lord, my fears are coming. Don't be afraid. I'm with you. Remember this verse, Matthew 14:27. Take heart. Take heart. Hold on. It is I. Do not be afraid. Join me next week as we take a look at the next few verses. And this is where Peter is going to literally do that, but he's going to have a problem. And it's really great verses to look at. Hey, thanks for joining me today. See you next week.